I have made quite a few videos featuring the VZ55 in the past couple months. First of all, it's a new tier 10, so that makes sense. But I've also had some mixed feelings about this tank throughout the past months on if I like it or I don't. Now, because this was a new line, I decided that I was going to grind this on my free-to-play, and that is exactly why we're here for today's video. I have finally been able to get the tier 10 in my garage, fully equip it, get the crew trained with Mad Games, and here we are. I'm very, very excited to be messing around with the vehicle today. So, yeah, I figured let's just get into some gameplay with the VZ and have some fun. The tank itself is pretty solid, and next update it's getting some slight buffs here and there. A teeny bit more damage per minute, its gun's getting a little bit more penetration, and a bit more mobility. But apart from that, the vehicle's not really changing all too much. But that's fine with me, because the tank already has a very solid gun when it comes to alpha. It's got pretty okay mobility on terms of power to weight, and its upper plate is incredibly well armored. So when you pair all these things together, it actually makes for a fairly fun playstyle. The only times the tank really does poor is when you get rushed by autoloaders due to its poor reverse speed. Personally, I would still like to see Wargaming buff the reverse to maybe 15, 16 kilometers per hour. They could even give it gear oil, and that would massively buff the tank, you know, just being able to reverse faster. So that's what I would personally like to see done to the VZ. But either way, I think the tank is fairly well balanced for the meta of the game. I just, as I said, feel it just needs a bit more reverse so that it can deal with autoloaders. But the good news is next update, all autoloaders seem to be getting a slight nerf. The 50B is losing almost all of its armor completely, and the 57 Heavy is losing a bit of its damage per minute, so I actually really can't complain. We actually got a pretty lucky shell into that 60 TP. Not only did it high roll, but we managed to slap it in between his turret cheeks, it almost looked like there, causing it to be a penetration, so not all too bad. Alright, well, we're gonna aim it on the, I would say, turret of the 60, but I actually can't hit the turret if I don't have the gun depression. This tank does actually have a decent amount, though, at around, I think it's 7 degrees, which is plenty. But something you will notice on my gameplay with the VZ is that this tank is a lot slower on my free-to-play account compared to my I guess, pay-to-win account, you can call it. And that is for one very simple reason, and that's down to the fact that I don't have all my crew skills ground on this account. Not my crew skills on this tank. I have 100% crew on this vehicle, but specifically my crew skills for playing just generic battles. I don't have all of them maxed out. So what that means is that my tank is going to be a heck of a lot slower than my main account with all the battles played on it. We're going to reload again, and maybe we can get another shell into, well, we'll just shoot the 54 if he's going to sit in front. Not too bad. We're up to 1900 damage at this point. We've gotten some pretty big slappers out. Something I personally really like about this vehicle is the alpha damage. Being able to roll your opponents for 470 is pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. Of course, our shells aren't really rolling 470 right now, but we're getting some slaps out here and there, and we're getting the job done. We got the TL7 off to the side. We got the 183 in front of us. Wow, 401? What are my rolls right now? They are terrible. I'm really hoping that that 60 TP doesn't shoot me. Okay, thankfully he didn't. 183 is still sitting out in the open, and we got the 50B in front. There you go. Another low roll. Wow, I am low roll heaven today. Alright, well, the 183 might hit the 50B. Chances are he won't, but, well, he might now if this 50B is going to sit out in the open. But even if he doesn't, we get a nice 500 damage HE. And in 13 more seconds, we can repair our ammo rack. This is why you always should carry double repair kit on any vehicle you play. Sure, you might not always have, I mean, you might have the opportunity to use tungsten or something like that, but I always recommend just to use one tungsten or one adrenaline, because most of the time you end up playing, what's going to happen is if you do get a damaged module or something that you need to use repair kits for, you're going to get screwed if you can't actually use your repair kits. So we get a nice shot into the enemy 60 TP. Now we're going to get into a side scrape, hiding our hatch from the 60 and making sure that the T-54 can't pen us. Now, I'd be willing to say that in this current time, the 54 is actually a bigger threat due to the fact that it has mobility, where the 60 TP doesn't. So we get a nice clear onto the T-54, and the 183 obliterates the 60. I'm not exactly sure why that player thought it was a good idea to push me there, but hey, I can't complain. We've dealt almost 5,000 damage this battle. We're going to win, and yeah, it's a really, really good game. So, as you can see, the VZ definitely gets the job done. We're going to use that good power to weight right now. We're going upwards of 40-ish kilometers per hour, and I have actually no clue where the 268 is, but I would expect to be in their spawn, as, you know, it's a TD. Although, actually, it's not in their spawn. Well, we got the 268 all the way off to the side. Let's aim, and we'll just load a premium shell to guarantee the pen. Nice roll as well, 500 there. So we're up to 5,400 damage. Unfortunately, it looks like the 183 has taken the majority of the damage we could have dealt, but I can't complain all too much. We did over 5,000, which is already plenty. I wonder if I aced the tank on my first battle in the vehicle. That would be absolutely insane. Come on, give me that ace, Wargaming. And no, we got a first class. Unfortunate. Still a pretty solid game, and with our times 5 XP, we were able to make 16,600 experience there. So, pretty solid results overall. But, as I was saying, the traverse speed is affected by your crew skills over here. There are certain things that will increase tank turn rate up to 7%. That's a pretty big increase, and a lot of other things. I've already got repairs up to max 28% faster, because that's absolutely mandatory. Some other things that are mandatory, we got camouflage. This increases your camouflage up to 21%. And as you can see, I can train all these using gold or credits, or most specifically XP earned in elite vehicles or premiums. Elite vehicles are vehicles that have little, should I say, like leaves around their icon. So we can see like the VZ55 has little leaves around the tank's heavy tank icon. Compare that to a tier 9 that I don't have fully equipped, and we have like the VK45, and you'll notice that it doesn't have any leaves around the icon itself. So that's how you can tell what's an elite vehicle. All tier 10s are elites, all premiums count as elites. Essentially, you can use either premiums or elite tanks and convert your XP for free just with using credits, which is pretty nice. That's why premiums are so important, is also to get credits. So here we are, second battle. I have a bad feeling about which way our team wants to go, because this is the EU server, and I'm not sure why, but people like to go towards Sion EU. Let me know if this is just me. I don't know, but something I've noticed while playing on this server. So, up against us, we have a Moishin. We got a 57 heavy M6 show. I would expect to see, oh boy, something crossing. I'm just gonna hug it wide. Ah, it's a TVP. Of course it is. All my homies hate TVPs, like every single one of them. Well, we got the Yo all the way wide, and we're gonna see if anything else tries the cross. We do have the TVP off to the side. Who maybe we can hit a lucky shell on? Yeah, we actually did. It's a bit of a low roll, but a pen's a pen. I'm not going to complain. Is that Yo alone? That's the main question I'm asking right now. I'm hoping that he is, because they do have a 183, which is obviously very, very deadly. And our mouse is quite low, which is also not very good. So let's see what we can do here. The Yo is going to get some shells into our mouse. He bounces the first one and messes up the second. We're going to get a nice 490 shot into his vehicle. And because he's running the double shot, we should also be able to get another easy second shell into his tank as well. So here we go, and a nice shot. Okay, well, if we're going to play this game smart, we're going to try and face hug the Yo. He's going to get shot by the mouse, and we're going to just hope that the Yag doesn't shoot me. We're going to get one shot in, but great example of one of the big downsides this tank does have, which is the hatch. It's really, really poor, and the majority of tanks are going to pen it. So that's something I personally really dislike about this tank, is that hatch armor. Now, we're kind of being screwed here, not going to lie. We're not only going to get shot by this guy once, but we might be dead. I'm going to get a shell into this player. The problem is we got the Yag in the back, and I can't back up. But the Moishin bounces me, which is good. That means we can actually get into a position where we shouldn't be penned by him, at least right now. So let's get into here, and perfect. Okay, we're hull down at least. That's what we want. Alright, well now if the Moishin pokes us, we should at least be able to hopefully cut through his turret cheek. We do have a lot of pen. There you go. It's a little hard to actually see where to aim because his vehicle, there's a burning tank in front. But there you go. Moishin misses us, which is good. We're going to drive all the way out and aim in a shell right on his lower plate. A bonk. There you go. Nice 500 roll. Let's put on our adrenaline. Maybe we can get a little bit more damage out. But as you can see, the VZ gun works pretty well for the majority of situations you put it in. I would expect this Motion, yes, to be looking at opponents to a side, so we get another nice shot, another 500 roll as well. So now we're up to 3,500. You can see where Alpha just feels so nice, being able to roll people for a pretty substantial chunk of their hit points with one shot. It always just feels very, very beneficial. So let's get a clearing shot on the enemy Motion, because I don't want him to turn back and shoot me, you know, when I'm trying to shoot this Yag. So let's reload. We got the side of the Yag right now, but no thank you. Nope, not happening right now. We're gonna aim it on the Yag, though. Unfortunately, that shell does end up missing, but we're fine here. There's no way that Yag just tried to shoot me through a building, is there? There's no way. Alright, well, let's aim it on the Yag, and we can't pen him with... Okay. One of the downsides of having Alpha is your accuracy. That's one thing I can say for a fact. Alright, well, we're going to reload again here. Let's see if we can maybe get a shell into the enemy Yag, or my mouse is going to block him, but there you go. Unfortunately, we do actually get penned by him. We were a little bit over-angled, as you can see, to his vehicle, which makes sense. We're not in an IS-7. I was kind of hoping he wasn't going to shoot me and he was going to shoot at our mouse, but you know what? It's fine. We're going to win. The Yag is going to die. There you go. And just like that, we still get a 4,000 damage victory out. And a pretty solid game at that. So, as you can see, the VZ55 is an incredibly strong tank. It's definitely nothing, you know, broken or on the level of I'm the best heavy, but it's a tank that's solid, its gun gets the job done, and as long as you're hull down, the armor's pretty good. Face-hugging is unironically really bad due to the way the armor is designed, and again, that reverse speed, as you saw, I weighed my options when dealing with that M6 show, and I realized, yeah, I just can't back up. It's not worth it. So instead, I'm just going to take the brute force, and yeah. But, hey, 4,059 damage, so not too bad at all. I really like the VZ. I'm glad I ground down the line. I've already got my next tier 9 already ground just from saving up XP, and that is the VK4502B. You can see I've made it all the way down to the VK, and I'm going to be getting the VK72 next. I haven't even played a game in the VK yet, so really excited for that. After I get that as well, I'm going to grind for the mouse, because the mouse is super, super cool, and they're buffing it next update, so I can't wait to play it with 3,200 hit points. It's going to be absolutely insane. So, yeah, I'm excited to get the VK. I'm excited to play the mouse. There's going to be a lot of really solid things. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.